All right, guys, we have an exciting show for you. What do we got today, Merlin?
Well, obviously, you can see standing to my right here, we have, a pretty decent bodybuilder by the name of Stanimal.
I know, we're so excited.
I've worked with Stanimal so many times. I'm so excited to work with him again today in his present best ever condition. I've known Stanimal since he weighed about 170.
That's crazy.
He was men's physique, and then he was classic physique, and now full-time bodybuilder.
All the way up to the open.
Way before, because one of my first program was one of yours, PRRS, the Power Reference Shock.
Right. Before we even met, he was using my first major training program, which is still going strong worldwide. So when he met me, he knew all about it. That was great.
That's awesome.
But we're here at Torture Gym, one of our favorite gyms here in Las Vegas. One of the best places you guys can possibly visit. Amazing equipment, as you'll see. And we're going to train back today. What I'm going to do for you guys, and actually it works really well because it's something similar to what Stanimal does in his own training, split the back workout into two parts. Part one is going to be for back thickness, and part two is going to be for lat width. So we're going to split it into two, and I'm going to use two specific techniques, a lot of contraction holds for the width, for the thickness, and a lot of stretch holds for the width. And Stan is somebody who, you're a big time under tension guy,
yeah,
right?
100%, yeah. So it's going to be very similar to what I do. What's different though is that I usually start with the lats and then do the thickness. So that's going to be...
Oh, good. So I get to throw you off today.
That's good.
So yeah, he loves time under tension, which is great, which is why we've always gotten along, always done some great training days. So can't wait to get into the gym, start training back, and I hope that you guys enjoy the show.
All right.
Let's do it.
It's true.
No, I was just thinking about that the other day because you were supposed to get the products during COVID, and so I never actually saw the product.
Oh, I'll make sure that I'll get you.
Just the labels and everything. I never got to see the finished products.
Yeah, we've been out for up on a year almost.
Yeah. That's about when I left.
Yeah.
The other gym. So.
Yep.
Yeah, let's do this.
All right. So. Okay, so guys, so for the first movement, like I said, we're going to be going for back thickness. We're going to use this lat pull-down machine here, which has a really nice, unique motion. It kind of is like if you see bodybuilders when they go into a back double bicep shot, it kind of mimics that motion. The technique that I'm going to have Stan use on this movement is a 4-second hold in the contracted position. And I also want you to watch his torso position when he does this, because the main thing you want to do is when you come down to the bottom, you're going for that contraction, you want your chest to come up high, have a slight arch in the lower back, and that's the way you're going to get maximum contraction. Give this a shot. Even on a regular pull-down machine, this works as well. So he's actually taking a close grip, which would seem counterintuitive, but the way this machine works, it comes out wide. So he's going to get mid-back. Okay. Comes to the bottom. Full contraction for 4 seconds, counting in his head. Deep squeeze. He's also focusing on pulling from the elbows. The elbows are drawing his hands down. He's not pulling from the hands. Then he'd be hitting biceps more. Think about pulling from your elbows. Squeeze. This is going to work everything across this upper back, even thickness up here. So Stan's thinking about doing a back double bicep right here as he's getting into it. See all that thickness coming out? Squeeze. Come on. Squeeze. I'm going to help him out a little bit, Dave. Squeeze. Good, come on. Squeeze, pull. Come on, one more. Here we go. Squeeze, get deep, right there. Nice. Excellent set.
Nice.
Okay, so for the second movement, again, we're staying with back thickness. We're gonna do a wide grip seated cable row here on this awesome machine. Again, we're going to be using the contracted position technique. However, we're going to do something different than the first exercise. We're going to do something that I call muscle priming. which means the first rep is going to be a 10-second hold in the contracted position. Why do I call it muscle priming? Because what we're doing is we're priming the muscle for what's to come. And also, when you use a technique like this, especially with the contracted position, you hold that position, it gives you a much better mind-muscle connection to the muscle you're working, because it's almost like just by holding that contraction, all those muscles get really, really pumped, and you actually just kind of like can get in touch with exactly what you're trying to feel. So it broaches really well for the rest of the set. After that first 10-second hold, we're going to do 10 good clean reps. And then we're actually going to, just for the fun of it, we're going to finish off the final rep with another 10-second hold just to completely annihilate the muscle. Again, this is another great technique, especially for you guys getting ready for shows. Okay, he's setting himself up. He's going to sit pretty much up straight. He's not going to do any of that far leaning back that sometimes you see guys do on this machine to try to swing and use more weight. Holding the first rep for 10 seconds. He's getting in touch with all the muscles in the upper back. He's also damaging muscle fibers, bringing more muscle fibers into play. And when you could do that, you effectively build more muscle. So you can see his form. This is the way Stan always trains. His form is perfect. His technique is perfect. He doesn't swing weights, use momentum. He's only using muscular action and squeezing everything across the upper back. The rhomboids, the mid traps, the upper traps, of course getting some lats as well. He's getting close to that last rep. Here it is. Finishing by holding for another 10 seconds. He's squeezing as hard as he possibly can. He's contracting these muscles. He's not just holding it. Yep, that's it. Beautiful set. All right, guys. So we're gonna finish off, not the whole back workout, just the thickness portion of the workout with something that I sometimes love to do in my training, which is after we've kind of hit the muscle with techniques that tend to tear apart and break down muscle fibers, I like to pump as much blood into the muscle as possible with a high rep exercise to finish. So what we're gonna do, of course, is pick a real hard one here. We're gonna do bent over rows here on a Smith machine, and we're gonna do sets of 20 to 25 reps. But you're gonna see the form, the technique will not break through the whole set. In other words, there's not gonna be any momentum or swinging. We're gonna get 20 to 25 clean reps. Like I said, flush the entire back with blood, get into those muscle fibers and start to feed and help them recover before we even get out of the gym. So very, very tough technique, especially because it takes your wind out of you, but give it a shot. All right, guys, Stan's setting himself up. He's starting his long set. And as you can see, even though he's going for a set of at least 25 reps, 20 to 25, he's doing really, really good form. He's still squeezing the muscle. You can see his body positioning. He's bent over almost at a 90-degree angle to really, really hit that upper back. Great contractions he's getting on every rep. He's just filling that entire back with blood, oxygen, nutrients, helping the muscles get into recovery mode. How many did we get? Come on. Get it.
5 more.
Come on. Come on. Come on.
Stanimal.
Come on.
I did like 28.
All right, guys. All three of us are exhausted already, but we have to start part 2 of the workout, just like I said. So now we're gonna go into the belly of the lats. So you're gonna see us using more of a close grip movements where the elbows remain close to the body at the contracted point. And we're gonna start off here with this fly flying around my face. It's really annoying. So we're starting off with this regular pull down, close grip pull down. And we're gonna use the priming technique on this one as well. So what we're gonna do is now we're gonna hold the stretch position. We really, really wanna stretch out those lats, because when you stretch a muscle under tension, studies even show that causes an anabolic response automatically. So it's a great way to facilitate muscle growth. We're gonna start off with a 10-second stretch, and then we're gonna do 10 good quality reps using the close grip, arching the back, chest high. And then on the final rep, on that 10th rep, we're gonna hold the stretch again as a bonus for another 10 seconds to finish it off. A very intense technique for the lats. Come on, here we go. Okay, so Stan's gonna start out with a 10-second stretch. The key to holding this stretch for 10 seconds and really feeling it is to let your shoulders release. If you don't let your shoulders release, you're gonna stay slightly contracted in the lats. You're not gonna get that stretch. You gotta be comfortable. Let the shoulders release, so it's pulling on the lats from origin to insertion. Then he starts his set. Now that he's primed the muscle, not only has he caused fiber damage by doing that, but again, it gives him a good mind-muscle connection, so he's gonna feel those lats contracting even stronger now than if he didn't prime the muscle. And as you can see, his form is still picture perfect. As Dave gets to the side with the camera, you could see slight arch in the lower back, chest high when it comes down and contracts. Come on. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And now he gets back into the stretch. He is really letting those lats come out. He's trying to literally pull them off the bone. Origin to insertion. This will help him get wider and thicker in the belly of the lats. Great set. Okay, so next up on the torture list, which is great for torture gym, we're gonna use this really, really cool seated row machine. They have so many cool pieces of equipment here to use, so it's like mind-boggling trying to figure out which one to use, but I chose this one. We're gonna do it unilaterally. So it's a basic seated row, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna hold again the stretch position, but this time we're gonna hold every single rep for 4 full seconds. What you really, again, wanna focus on when you're holding the stretch is letting the shoulder release, because if you don't, like I said, if you don't let it release and you keep it tense, the lat is not gonna completely stretch. So you wanna almost twist your body, let the shoulder go, and then when you begin your contraction, then you can bring the shoulder back in and squeeze to the top. A very, very difficult technique again, but the stretch under tension will produce muscle growth. All right, guys. So Stan's about to start his seated row. As you can see, we're using that close grip so the elbow is riding right next to his body, which is going to target the lats, not isolate, because of course you can't take the other back muscles out of the equation. As you can see, he's holding the stretch position for 4 seconds, counting it down in his head before he carefully comes back and muscles it back and contracts. So he's working right here along from origin to insertion of the lats, helping himself build a wider back. And when he stretches, again, releasing at the shoulder, letting it go so the lat fully stretches. Want to take advantage of this technique, which is very important for muscle growth. Come on. Stretching, muscling it back, leading with the elbow. Excellent. And I'll let you guys know that even Stan's very close to competition right now. This is the way he trains all the time. He trains with this control. He's not one of those lifters who likes to use momentum or crazy poundages for 4 reps. This way he protects his joints, makes sure that he doesn't have any injuries, tears, attachment problems, and this will give him much more longevity in the sport. And he's been growing off of this type of training. It's all about the intensity of the contractions, intensity of the stretch, slow negatives, controlled positives. And today we're taking advantage of longer tension times, specifically with the stretch on this movement. If you're somebody who has trouble building width in the lats, I recommend a lot of lat stretching, especially under tension with weight. In other words, not just basic stretching, but utilizing resistance stretching. So he's stretching under tension with the weight here. Squeezing back. Getting the stretch on everyone, never rushing it. Squeezing. Action, good. Come on. Come on, you got a show to win.
That's it.
Good, nice job.
Thank you.
All right, guys, so we're finishing off the workout finally. Now we're gonna finish again with high reps, 20 to 25. This time I'm gonna use a more isolated movement for the high rep movement, not a compound. So we're gonna do a stiff arm pull down. We're actually gonna do it using an incline bench, which actually makes the movement a little bit more strict than just standing free. So it's just a variation that you could try if you want, if you've been doing the regular version. So again, we're gonna do 20 to 25 reps. We're gonna use good form, no swinging, no momentum, get a good contraction in the lats, and this is one of the best movements you could do for building lat width. Right up, really high, right under the armpits. So it's a very, very good movement if you're looking for wider lats, especially if you're a competitor. So give it a shot. All right, as you can see, I'll stand. I have the bench set not quite at 90 degrees, maybe about 80, 85. And as you can see, he's starting the movement at the top with the bar just about equal to the top of his head. So this will actually work the lats and the teres muscle over its full range of motion, giving a slight stretch at the top. Now this angle forward that the bench actually creates for his torso will create a much better contraction than if you're standing straight up and down. His arms are pretty much straight. It's okay to be straight or have a slight bend in the elbow, but you don't want to go too much. And also his thumbs are over the bar on the same side as the other fingers. This helps you prevent from getting any triceps into the movement. And obviously Stan and my training were all about isolating the muscle that we're targeting as much as possible. So again, these high reps are going to get a lot of blood, oxygen, and nutrients into the muscle to foster recovery after those very difficult techniques that we used. Come on, squeeze it. Again, squeeze it, and finish with this one. Nice, beautiful. Awesome. It's great balance. Nice. Now we'll see the results of Stan's back workout. Boom, yep. Very nice. A lot of detail. Oh, that's a great shot. Vascularity, crazy. Yes. Number one. Okay, guys, so we just finished our back workout. I think it went pretty well. Yeah, so great back workout. I was saying to Stan before that he's really, really a pleasure to train. I've probably trained Stan maybe, I don't know, eight times or so. And the reason I say that is because he just does everything with so precisely. His form, his technique is always spot on. Even when he's having trouble completing a rep, he stays in that proper form. He doesn't try to cheat. He lets me help him a little bit. And as somebody who builds his reputation, and my thought process is always on keeping proper technique and isolating the muscle. To watch him, train this way, especially at the pro level where, you see a lot of guys who, swing the weights and use momentum, always trying to lift so super heavy. Stan doesn't care. He doesn't have any ego. You don't have any ego in that sense that you don't care. You're like, whatever I got to do to build muscle is what I'm going to do.
Exactly.
If it's 20 pounds on this machine, I don't care. It matters what I look like on stage. So let me just ask you, how did the workout? How was it today?
Well, it was great. It's not very different. But I think someone who doesn't train at all about doesn't really care about time and attention, doesn't really care about technique too much, a little more sloppy, would have a more challenge to just start a new type of workout. But since it's what I'm used to, pretty much, of course, you threw some curveball, but I like to do that too. So it's not completely new. So I think I could hang pretty well. And but yeah, I think it's really getting choosing the exercises and the weight that's going to allow you to get what you want. Oftentimes, what I've learned is that if you have smaller body part that are weaker, they're less developed, they're actually weaker as far as strength goes too. So if you're trying to power through and put more weight, the body is going to protect those small muscle and not let them fire at all, otherwise they would just tear. So what you need to do to be able to actually contract those muscles is to drop the weight, so the load is light enough so that muscle can actually contract and do the work. And so the smaller muscle, the one that are behind, oftentimes you really need to drop the ego, drop the weight, and start from scratch basically, and learn how to contract it.
I think that's a really, really good point, because it is true, because if you do have a weak body part, the stronger muscles are always going to try to take over, because that's what's caused the weakness in the first place. So you're just facilitating that further. So that's an awesome point. So obviously you haven't competed now since November. You just said this is going to be first time since then. When you went into this off season, what was your main goal? What did you say to yourself? This is what I need to improve. This is what I want to have more of on the next time I'm on stage.
Well, I was pretty close. So last two shows I got fourth place and second place. So I knew what to do as far as conditioning. We kind of figure out the recipe with my coach Patrick Tuor. So it was before that show, I reached out to Psycho, Chris Lewis, and I told him I want to work with him, get him more involved in my training. So we've done that since then. I've trained with him a few times, either going to LA. He came here also with Andrew during our prep. We train here. We train at his base gym in Orlando Beach, Psycho Body Shop. So that was one thing. Then it was just fine-tuning things, trying to bring up even more details. Of course I need more size, but I don't think size is, especially nowadays, it's Rafael Brando getting 10th place last year. I think it shows the direction things are going. It's more aesthetic, shape, details, conditioning. I mean, all the guys who won so far this year where conditioning was really on point. So I'm very confident in what I'm bringing to Orlando, because it's going to be my best conditioning to date. And I improved the muscularity. I've been working on every little thing I've told you off camera too, that was on my vacuum. That's one thing on my midsection I've been working a lot this past off season, this whole prep, and fine-tuning, posing, presentation, making sure that I've done all the work to improve, bring the commercial condition. I think I need to make sure I can showcase it as best as I can, and withhold the time if we're really getting through rounds, so I'm not getting short of breath and not able to hit the pose anymore because I'm just not prepared.
Very important. Hey, quick shout out to Psycho Fitness. We miss you, brother.
Yeah.
We all used to be at Gold's Gym together, see each other every day. I love Psycho, so shout out to him. Done a great job with Stan here. Thank you for letting me have him for a day. One last thing I'll just talk to you about real quick, because I think it's important and a lot of people don't broach this subject. We were talking a lot about what you do for therapies and modalities that you use between training sessions to keep your body healthy, your joints, your tendons, your ligaments. So just talk a little bit about the things that you do and why you think it's so important.
I mean, I've done so much, and I feel over the years, every year I try to add one thing. So when I talk to Emily, sometimes she points out all the things I do that for me became subconscious, that I don't even really pay attention. So As far as recovery, I have like half my day at least, if it's not more, dedicated to recovery. So usually when I wake up, I do my cardio, I start prepping my meals for the day, I do my vacuum work, ab work, all the little detail things like that. Then I do like at least 2 to 2.5 hours. I go to a place called Project Wellbeing. Shout out to you guys, Sean Freitas over there. Great space, great gym, and amazing recovery equipment. I spend an hour usually in a hyperbaric chamber, about 30 minutes in the red light. It's different type of red light therapy, usually to help increase the healing. What I like to do too, like every other day, or at least twice a week, I do mineral soak. Once a week or twice a week, usually on my rest day, I do cold plunge therapy, so ice baths. And I do infrared sauna post-workout at least like every other day for 30 minutes.
Wow.
And then I get at least 5 hours a week of tissue work. I have my own cupping, so I do a lot of cupping myself. I do the sliding cuppings, I do the static cuppings from Ectoway that has like 5 different programs, 5 different sections. I also use the Newbie for recovery. And what else? I have a therapy gun. I have a little scraping tools, and like, you know, if every little thing's going on, I'm just trying to fix it on you know, by myself. And like every 2-3 days, I have someone to actually work on me anyway. So I've been working a lot with Corey, also Art of Anatomy at Elevation. If you have a chance to work with him, he helped me really balance my back. And I also see Tiffany, the body mechanic. She's great. She's awesome. So I see her every week. I saw her this morning.
Well, guys, that is the definition of full-time bodybuilding, right? I mean, like, you can't be more any full-time than that right there.
No time for anything else.
he's being full-time because he's got goals. So listen, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed that training session with Stan. We'll definitely have him on the show again. Of course, Dave and I wish you the best of luck. We know you're going to do great. We know you're going to qualify for the Olympia this year. We just feel it. I feel it. And we want to thank Torture Gym for having us. Always a pleasure to train here. And we got a lot more to come. And of course, we just hope that you like and subscribe to the channel. And share videos. Stan, pleasure today.
Thanks, Eric.
And
thank you, Dave.
root for Stan. He's #1.
Full-time bodybuilder here.